Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Very good morning. On
Morning.
Drig Drishya Vivek, we have been looking at seer and seen and how this practice can be integrated to reach the self-realization, even to go through every day discriminating between reality and non-reality. As I'm coming to verse 21, almost towards the end, Adi Shankaracharya talks about the practice of meditation. And he also clarifies that this is the only way to constantly contemplate on Drig and Drishya, constantly to be aware. Meditation is the path. And this is where he also talks about different ways to meditate and different techniques where we expand our awareness to relate with the universal consciousness. Meditation is very weak and everybody does it. Now, whether we know it, the purpose, object of meditation or the method or the result, but we all try to do the meditation in our own way. Every way is right, but the meditation is not just a practice of controlling the mind or letting the mind go wandering aimlessly. Sitting with folded legs and again making a posture and trying to focus and concentrate again limit the understanding of meditation. Meditation, again, as he talks about, the whole idea, as it talks about, it relates to the samadhi state, very close when we are merging into the oneness and there is nothing else exist. We cannot meditate. Meditation happens just like samadhi. We cannot go to samadhi. It just happens. We continue to prepare ourselves and allow it to happen when it happens. And that's where the practice of owning and abiding in the self is itself the meditation. So, the very first technique, when he says, literally, the translation as it is, being indifferent to both name and form and devoted to the truth, one should always practice meditation both in the heart and outside. This is a practice for all of us to continue today and continue rest of the week until we see the second technique. So let's start sitting comfortably, closing your eyes. Taking a moment just to withdraw your senses, your mind, bringing your awareness on tip of your nostril. Without trying to gaze, simply bringing your awareness as if with the closed eyes you can experience where the tip of nostril is. The concentration on the tip of the nostril is simply being aware of that point. The moment the single centric awareness comes to one point, you can feel everything happening as you breathe in and breathe out. Not to extend or be focused on the movement of the breath, it's simply on the tip of the nostril, from where you can feel the flow of breath coming in and going. Keeping your awareness simply on one point. Mind may extend or automatically connects with the breathing and start to focus on the breath. But you continue to bring it back on the tip of your nostrils. That one single point may also start to experience the chillness and the warmness as breath goes in and out. making sure the mind is centered on the one point. Not much else to focus on. You may also start to feel as mind starts to wander off, or thoughts may start to come. Keep bringing it back on the point, the center point of concentration. At first, it may start to seem a struggling phase where you have to keep bringing your mind back. The thoughts may distract or divert. Breath may also divert the attention. Consciously, very gently bring it back and start to focus. Soon enough, you may start to observe. The mind start to come closer. The struggle reduces on its own. The distraction starts to come down on its own. The mind starts to come down naturally, effortlessly. The exact tip of the nostril may not stay centered, but your mind has come to a single point where it reaches to the stillness, a complete silence. At start, that stillness again may not hold for long, as long as you can comfortably hold on to the silence, the stillness, where mind is completely centered on the one point. Everything else starts to disappear. Frequency, the intensity of the thoughts, the movements, the distraction, all start to come down. In between, spontaneously, you may feel it's all has stopped to the one point. Between this doing and non-doings, trying to bring it to the one point, and when it holds on to the point, it may start to emerge again. The thoughts, the distraction of the breath, from the complete silence, when it starts to emerge again, and from all the emergence, from all the distractions, diversions, when it all comes back, seems everything merge again in that stillness. That stillness, the silence, is more like a substratum into which the entire world merges. It emerges from and merges again. The world of thoughts, the mind, the distraction, the senses, everything starts from here, but then come back and merge within. Without trying to effort yourself again to hold on to the stillness or silence, now I would like you to expand your awareness between this merging and emerging. When everything comes back and merge into this stillness, and you hold on to complete silence, a blank state of mind where it's completely still, has no image, no thoughts, nothing to follow, nothing to control. Everything has come to the complete silent state. But from here, things may start to emerge again. May extend and connect to something, and that becomes the thought or the distraction of its own. The mind starts to project, and as if the new whole world starts to emerge from this stillness. As we see in our own mind, focusing on our mind, the world of name and forms, as it emerges in the mind, but if you're not engaged, if you're not involved, and you're not carried away with, it comes back as all the big waves or the tide coming back to the complete silence. All these changes start to emerge, again merge into the stillness, complete silence. The constant exchange between these two, but all that arising from the substratum, from the very core, very much that is the self. As you witness all these changes as it takes place, you remain the seer, you remain the sakshi, the witness. At this moment, you see the mind alone. The movement of the mind, but the emergence constantly happens in all the state. Now, focusing on yourself, I would like you to connect with waking state of mind. As the day starts and we wake up, all that with the closed eyes, connecting the whole experience of our states at this point. The waking state of mind when we are up and connected with the world. All that happens and relates, all that we do during the day, walking, eating, talking, sharing, all our experiences throughout the day. I would like you to simply observe your mind when it goes through the waking state. Always active, constantly watching, analyzing, interpreting, storing, connecting, relating, responding, reacting. All that constant exchange between the world within and outside. Constant interplay of mind, emotion, and experiences. But then, almost towards the end, mind also enter into the dream state, where mind is half awake, but half asleep. You're aware of your thoughts, and sometimes these thoughts project as dream. From the walking to the dream state, now as you contemplate, naturally and effortlessly when the mind projects into half waking, which may not be real, which may not be the fact. At times, consciously we allow the mind to enter into the dream state, where we visualize our own dreams, any pleasant memories connecting with anything that we wish to observe. Here, not much movement of the thoughts except just the projection of selective thoughts, which may come on the surface and disappear. From this very state of dream, we enter into the deep sleep. Let's connect with the mind as it enters into the deep sleep. Completely off. Nothing exists there. No memory, no thought. Nothing to relate, nothing to observe. Nothing is in light to be connected with the mind. Mind is completely absorbed within. The deep consciousness, the sleep state, the sushupti, all the names that relate to the state of mind where it's completely absorbed into the silence. We enter constantly between these three every day. When the mind is completely absorbed with the ego, the deep sleep state of mind, as we come out of it, start to connect with the half waking to the full waking state. We are aware of our merging into the silence, even though we cannot remember or know where we were or what happened there, because mind completely absorbed into the silence, into the substratum. And no entity of mind was active to relate or connect with memory. But we still remember that I slept. The consciousness was always present, the self as a witness, always present. Just as right now, you can go through the 3 states of mind from waking, sleeping to the deep sleep state. We constantly emerge and merge into the substratum. The whole world outside appears and disappears the same way. As you connect with the waking, with the mind, the conscious movement of name and forms, the world emerging and merging again, let all the changes to happen. Let's continue to take part in all the changes as much as we are required to, but constantly witnessing and watching ourselves, focused on simply the truth that it will not stay. Anything that has merged, anything that has emerged from the mind or the world outside will merge again. It will come and go. Nothing will stay. So in the world of constant change, whether it's all around us or within us, the unchanging reality is the truth, and the truth is the self. That very core, the substratum from which everything merges and merges again. The very core that relates to ourself. Simply the consciousness beyond all the names and forms remains the same. Everything else appeared in the name and forms will constantly change, move, disappear and reappear. Continue to watch the world outside and inside, both from the same experience of the truth. Let's be part of this constant movement as it takes place and as much as we are required. Constantly connecting with the self, with the truth, and the only reality. Seeing everything and anything beyond the name and form, and connecting with everything as reality alone, the consciousness alone. Let's continue to practice this in the conscious world, in the waking state of mind, but reminding the truth beyond name and form and the reality beyond the existence, what we see. We all are connected from the same substratum, from the same self. Whether it is not visible or visible, constantly changing. But the reality is unchanged. Let's continue to witness the world of name and form. And let's continue to expand our awareness to go beyond the name and form, observing their emergence and merging again. Bringing your mind again to the stillness from the very silence to the self. And from here, as you connect with the mind, the flow of breath, and holding on to the flow of breath, inhalation and exhalation, coming back to the center tip of your nostril. Outer world is Purna, complete, the divine consciousness, universal consciousness. The inner world is also the same consciousness. One emerging from will merge into the same. It comes out and goes back into the Purna, the completeness. To remind that, we'll conclude with the same prayer. Very gently, moving your both hands a little, bringing them together in Namaskar Mudra. Keeping your hands close to your heart center. You know the chant, please do with me, or simply can contemplate on the words or the meaning. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Very slowly rub your both hands together. When the palm will start to warm enough, very gently place them on your both eyes. With a very gentle massage on all over your face. Very slowly bring your both hands down. Taking your own time to be connected with surrounding. Slowly and gently, looking down, open your eyes.